Well, here we are, another Monday, another ball cap Bible study. I think you see today I'm rocking the OU gear and see all my OU stuff in the background here in my den, my man cave. And it's interesting because today's beatitude is one that I think goes with uh, the way OU is performing this year. But every dog has his day. Glad they won. I just hate it that I'm doing backflips because we beat Kansas. So other than that, we'll keep moving on. I hope you guys are having a great uh, October. Finally, looks like some cool weather is going to be here. We'll do some announcements real quick, and then this will be a much shorter ball cap Bible study than we've been doing in the past. I've kind of let them, you know, uh, grow without meaning to. So I don't want them to get long, and I'm being too verbose with everything. So let's just jump into some announcements. Actually wrote some down. Tomorrow, so this is Monday the 17th. Tomorrow will be Pray for the Nation in the parlor at 11 a.m. on the 18th, Tuesday the 18th. And it's a big deal. This is the last Pray for the Nation gathering we have before the elections. The next one will be after those November 8th elections. I think it's the 8th. And so one thing I would say though is you know, you don't have to come once a month with a group of people to pray for this nation. Uh, there are two things I keep hearing that this nation needs whenever I'm in front of you guys, and that's prayer and revival. And so, you know, I think one leads to the other if you stop and think about it. Um, so pray in your closet, in your private place, in your home, in your car, wherever. But the one thing we're called to do without ceasing is to pray. So pray for this nation. If you're watching this Tuesday afternoon, you'll be too late to come to the parlor at 11. But if you can make it, make it. It's a big deal, and we've got a good program prepared, and you'll I think you'll enjoy it. So would love to see you. Love to see that grow, and have the more we can have in corporate prayer, the better. Also, coming up on the 30th of this month, of course, that's the Halloween time. So we'll have Candy Crush in our parking lot the evening of Sunday, October 30th, which means no PM services because we'll be doing and that's a community outreach deal. It's not just for our kids. We want folks from around the neighborhood, across the street, in the apartments, whatever, to come and to feel comfortable on our campus. There are a lot of people today that don't go to church because they just feel yucky about it. They don't feel welcome, or they don't feel worthy, or they don't feel wanted. So all the W's. But so what I love about our church is that we're a warm and welcoming church. We're our one of our little mottos is we're the you know biggest small church you'll ever come to, or whatever. So anyway, that's Candy Crush. You'll see buckets where you can bring candy if you can't come and help. They'd love to have cars decorated and trunk or treat and that kind of thing. And it was very big success last year. And then also on that same Sunday, on the 30th, we're going to have First Responder Sunday. So we're going to recognize our law enforcement folks and our firefighters and emergency responders and those kind of people, EMTs, that kind of thing, people that run toward danger and not away from it. And so, uh, basically our community heroes, people put their life on the line for us. And so many of you know what I retired from, and the folks that are still on active duty are very, very special and deserving of this. Also, I wrote it out on a little card, so I'm reading off of it. Uh, also, I don't want us to forget about our clinic that we have on the hill. So it's just something that struck me. If we're going to be the W's, if we're going to be warm, welcoming, and wanting of people, then and we want them to feel worthy and all. So that free clinic is another good way to reach out. If nothing else, remember we talked about prayer. If nothing else, pray on Thursday nights from sometime between 6 there. I'm not asking you to pray for the whole 2 hours, but some of you can. Some of you are big time prayer warriors. But pray 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. on Thursday evenings is when our free clinic happens there at the Hill. And so you can pray at 6:15, right before it opens, or you can pray anytime during that time. Obviously you could pray anytime, but around the time that it's going on, pray for those folks providing care and treatment and admin, stuff and counselors and all that. So those are the main things that are happening. There's a men's golf tournament October 29th. If any of you guys are interested, get a hold of Van Greenwood or Jerry Ross or somebody that's part of our men's ministry. That's something fairly new. So with that, we'll get into, we're doing that parallel study of the Beatitudes and the fruit of the Spirit. Fruit of the Spirit, there in Galatians chapter 5, you see, Paul contrasting flesh and spirit. So think of the opposite of fleshly stuff. And then the Beatitudes, you can probably hear Rachel going in and out of the house to feed the cat. And then the Beatitudes are that opposite of, what the world was thinking back in the day and still does today. I mean, they're very oxymoronic. They seem like the opposite of what would make you happy. They all begin with blessed or happy. That kind of fortunate would be another, not a bad way to translate that into an English word. But anyway, the third beatitude says, blessed are the meek. You know this one. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Meek does not mean weak. That's the main thing I want to get across on this beatitude. It speaks to gentle or control, that kind of thing. Let me read a couple of the commentaries. Eliot, he said that the word here, the reference is the character of one who has the passion of resentment under control and who is therefore tranquil and untroubled, as in part determining the popular use of the word and part also explaining the beatitude. So that another person had said, gentle, it would be like great power under control, kind of like a big old draft horse, that doesn't take much to get them to move or whatever, but they are extremely powerful. So meek does not mean weak. Inherit the earth, conjures up the promised land in a lot of ways, but not just a little portion of land, all of it, the whole world. The land, the earth, that kind of thing. So here's the deal. You don't want somebody who is not, doesn't have passion under control to be at a negotiating table. Meek does not mean weak. You can hold your ground, kind of like turn the other cheek kind of thing. That's, if you've ever heard me speak about that, that's not a position, that's a position of strength, not of weakness. If you're able to turn the other cheek. Well, being meek, gentle, or humble is not a position of weakness either. It's a position of strength, because you're under control. Barnes, so the fruit of the Spirit, the third fruit of the Spirit, this is the third beatitude. The third fruit of the Spirit is peace. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, that kind of thing. I want you to hear what a guy named Barnes said about this. Meekness produces peace. That's why people who work for the State Department, that kind of thing, listen to this. Meekness produces peace. It is proof of true gentleness and greatness of soul. It comes from a heart too great to be moved by little insults. He that is constantly ruffled, that suffers every little insult or injury, to throw himself off his guard and to raise a storm of passion. So it's this passion of resentment that doesn't matter because God's got it. That's the neat thing about that. So peace is the fruit of the Spirit. The parallel beatitude is, blessed are the meek, the gentle, the humble, for they shall inherit the land, the earth. So I think you see how those two go together. I mean, to me, this is one of the easiest ones to see that they dovetail, that they parallel, that they're connected somehow. And then the commentators agree with that. And what's interesting, most of them don't even reference the Beatitudes, but I mean the fruit of the Spirit, but they just associate that beatitude with the exact same number of the fruit of the Spirit. So that's kind of neat. Well, anyway, that's the conclusion today. Peace and meekness, but it's not weakness. That's something that I have to explain to people all too often, and it's just, I think it's human nature, especially with me. A lot of people make the mistake of confusing my being nice with being weak. Just because I'm nice doesn't make me weak. Um, you know, like Bill Bixby used to say on the Hulk, "Don't make me angry. You won't like me if I'm angry." So um, don't confuse how nice I am with a lack of strength. So and then ultimately the commentators, say the same thing, that the we can bear the insults, and be meek, which is a strength, because we know God is more than able to exact any revenge that we think ought to take place. So being gentle, meek, and humble is having that passion of revenge without acting on it. So, all right, I'm going to let you go. That's it. I still probably went longer than I wanted to or should have, but I love you guys, and we will see you next week. Bye.